guys, welcome back to Kuma Reviews. We're taking a look at a Transformers figure. Nice change of pace. This is Banana Force's MPL-04 Orion Predator. So this is the third release, but second mold in their die-cast Transformers line. Non-transforming stuff, so for all of you guys, all Transformers have to be Transformers that transform and yada yada. Just go. So anyway, looking at the height on this guy, he is about 10.5 inches tall to the T. He is lent back a little bit, so it might be closer to 10 3/4. I'm not exactly sure. I'll have a more accurate measurement on the written article when I put it up on kumastyle.com. So just getting the camera off here, we're going to take a look at the accessories. Comes with a nice amount of accessories. For the most part, pretty accurate, or I guess necessary stuff, not accurate, because this is an original design. So, jetpack kind of, well, it's wings. It doesn't have thrusters or anything like that. So the axes actually come with the blades of the axe, and then just a bunch of different handle stuff, because they could be separate axes. They could be one giant axe with two ends, one giant axe with one end. However you want to do it, there are a lot of options for you. So, of course, his blaster, really cool. A different head. I'll go over my thoughts on that during the review, as well as these two wheel pieces. So this is a piece with interchangeable parts. It's really cool. Works through magnets. Yeah, so let's go ahead and take a look at all this. Before getting started on the figure itself, I just want to go ahead and look over the boxes, just because these boxes are huge and I'm going to get them out of the way just to make space. Normally I keep them there so you guys can just look at them the whole time rather than actually going over them, but box, some artwork with the figure itself, and then pretty standard stuff, just front and back of the figure, looking over the accessories. It's nice to see an actual layout of a figure and accessories on the box. That's pretty cool. Sticks out. I love their logo for the heavy metal premium line. Yeah, or it might just say metal premium line. But yeah, and then it comes with a shipper as well. Really nice line art on there. Credit where due. That's freaking awesome. I would watch an animation series or an animated series featuring this design right here, because everything's going cel shaded and stuff like that anyways. It looks freaking good. So, alright, on to the figure. Okay, and again, looking at the figure itself, MPL-04 Orion Predator. Okay, again, I've got about 10.5 inches here. Let's actually try to get him more just standard lame stance. Get him all upright. Make sure he's posed like I can't pose a toy at all. And I was right. He is more towards, he's just over 10 3/4 inches tall. But if I had to give a measurement, I'd say approximately 10 3/4 inches. And I told you it had these magnetized pieces here. They just pop on, and yeah, we'll take a look at them. I do like the paint job on this. And I will say, with the red sharpshooter that I reviewed a while back, it definitely has no chips flaking, the signal effect, that kind of stuff. They do a good job on their paint. Not only their paint applications, but the quality of it too. So it's pretty cool. All right. And before I forget, he does have a Matrix gimmick here. All right. It does come out as well. Go ahead and do that. I'll make sure to take close-up pictures on the review. And I do love that it has this latch and stuff like that. Very movie-esque. Okay. Now, zooming out a little bit here to make room. Going over the articulation. The head is on a ball joint, but that ball joint also has a rocker that moves back and forth. So that's purely the rocker right there. And on the ball joint, full 360. So when it comes to the downward, he can look downward pretty well. And the upward, look upward pretty well, but then add in the rocker and boom. And if you want extra effect, so I like to pose my figures with the legs leaned back, ab crunch. It's cool because you can do the rock her back, and then use the neck or the ball joint to look down and have his head set a little bit higher so it doesn't get buried. So if you have the rocker down and you look downwards, see how the face gets a little bit more, you know, especially from those downward like angles that I like to do. So that's pretty cool. Now the shoulders, no separate movement on the shoulder pads. These pipes here, exhausts, they do move back and forth. I kind of like them outwards like that angled look. It's pretty cool. But I think part of the reason they move is to make room for the inside of the shoulders. Get that parallel there. Alright. And you can see it also has like movement in there too. And it does have butterfly. These flaps do move to make room for that. It's pretty neat. Good tight joints. Friction joints right there. Alright. Bicep swivel. Double jointed elbows. And these pieces, they do come out. I wish they just stayed there. I'm not going to glue them or anything, but yeah, if you want a different look for like the plain Optimus, because you saw those like kind of armored parts and stuff. Alright. There is inward and outward rock on the wrist there, as well as ball joints. So there's a little bit extra rock, but the main is going to be right there. And it's nice because he has these big old forearms, very Super Robot-esque. And one thing for that Obari style of posing and stuff, really extenuating those forearms by doing that. Okay? So the waist, 360. Get these out so you can look at it. There's a little bit of ab crunch at the waist itself, but most of it is at that upper part. So that's that. Backwards, forwards, backwards, forwards. And you can go a bit farther there. So, and then backwards. So, great ab crunch there. Now, with the hips, front flaps and side flaps go out. Okay. There are no back flaps blocking anything. The hips, they don't do like the extension or anything like that, but they are set pretty low to naturally make room. No ratchets in the hips, front and back. Let's go outward here. Outward. Let's see if you can balance like that. Ankles aren't bad, but let's see. And the ankles do extend a bit too. So, ankles, they aren't loose, but they aren't built for that apparently. So, well, I guess you just gotta find the right spot. But yeah, there you go. Not something that I would trust on like a display or anything like that, though, of course. So, if it wasn't apparent, and again, these are magnets. Look, snap right in. These are die casts. Knees actually have ratchets on them. Double jointed knees, both ratchets. Big chunk in die cast. I wish there was some movement, like there's some movement in the front thigh there, that quad area, but not enough to really cover up that knee when you get it fully articulated. And again, these don't come out easily, but you see that I'm sliding past it, playing with it so much. So don't worry about these parts falling out when you've got it on display or anything like that. They'll be fine. That's just me doing what I do. So, ankles, that's pretty standard right there. But they do naturally come out some to give it that extended ankle tilt, rock, and then you got forward. Not a lot of forward movement, but back, yes. And then, let's see, feet move in, or the toes do. And then there's some movement on the heel, upward. Alright, so just for the sake of doing something other than like the standard Iron Man, this and that, this is one I did when I was just messing around with it in my car when I got it from the post office. So, there's that. And I wish he had a little more ankle tilt to really carry that. Make sure that. And then get the camera some tilt there. There we go. I like it. Now let's go ahead and start looking at some of these accessories. So it does come with an alternate head as well. And I just want to show you guys this. I'm not going to use the alternate head. I'm not really a fan of the design. I personally just don't get it. So if there is some kind of comic accuracy or cartoon accuracy to it, let me know. This is the standard. And then this is the alternate. It looks like the helmets themselves are pretty much 1-for-1. But the mask, this one has the additional pieces that kind of extrude and things like that from it. I personally wish they would have just gave him a regular like Orion Pax face unmasked. That'd be nice, but I guess it's what it is. I'm not going to knock options, but I just wish the option was a little bit better in that regard. So it's what it is. But yeah, they just pop right on the ball joint. I mean, there's really nothing much to it. Again, I am, I guess for the sake of review, just so you guys can see how it looks on the figure. It's like, I don't want to do it. So that should tell you something. But it just pops right on. So, boom. Okay. And since these are coming off anyway, all right, again, magnets. And then you can replace these with the wheels if you choose to. Okay, boom. Boom. Again, magnets. Pop right in. Backpack. All right. So wings can rotate, move in and out. That's about all there is to it. It pops in and then slides down to lock in place. Okay. So for what it's worth, just the brightness here. Both the gun and the axis, you could choose one weapon to place on his back, which is unfortunate. I wish that he had, you know, something on the sides, like holsters for the axis, and then could put the gun on the back, but it's what it is. It's a hexagon, so it's nice because it locks the weapon into place. And it locks it at a very good angle, too. It'd be nice to be able to rotate it and stuff like that to your desire. I haven't tried straight up and down yet. That's not really my preferred style, but I believe it can. Yeah, boom. So the angles, like, I don't like being locked into options. That's why I don't like ratchet joints and stuff like that. But the angles that it has are pretty darn good. All right, so there's that. And just in case I forget, the gun has a gimmick. You extend it. Boom. The way you put in the batteries, if it doesn't come with them on yours. Screw right there. And it's 3 LR 521 batteries, I believe. Let me make sure I can do this right. Boom. And it's just a magnet cover. So, and I like that. I like that switch. It's pretty cool. All right. So we got that going. What else do we got? That's about it in terms of like swap parts. The hands, just big old ball joint. Pop them off. Now, these hands are, they're very, not very, but they are soft plastic. They're soft, thick plastic, so don't feel like they're fragile or going to break. But when it comes to the weapons, they can get stretched. The right gun holding hand in particular on mine, it came with the hole too big. What I did, I just threw it in boiling water, let it set for about 30 seconds, squeezed it back tight, this hole, and then put it under cold water. That fixed it right up. Now the gun holds tight and everything like that. So that's the nice part about these soft plastics, like the Flame Toys ones, for example, their hands. They're more hard plastic, so like the fingers tend to like break off when you're trying to put it on weapons and stuff like that. Then you have to re-glue them and this and that. I actually like that these are pliable, so pretty cool stuff. We'll put in the axe holding hands. Play around with that. And of course it's right there. That's how it goes. All right, boom. And it's like, I like that they're magnets, so if they do come off, they're easy. But when you're playing around with the figure, they do tend to whatever, you know. Like if I'm hitting it, it takes a lot for it to come off. But it seems like I'm really tapping it at the right angles when I'm finagling with the figure itself. So, okay. The axis. Of course, you start with the blade. And then what I don't like about these, instead of being a half or like a full circle peg, it's like a 3/4 circle. So you have to make sure that you like place them the right way, have them facing the right way in the hands, because like, of course, it has the part where you can put it on the backpack, the female peg end. So let's go ahead and just, I gotta get the opposite one, because they're side specific. Okay. Or do I have to get the other side? I don't know. Oh, man. All right, so I think I just discovered something. Yeah, these aren't mirrored. They're actually same. So unfortunately, when it comes down to it, you're just stuck with one side having the hole facing outwards or whatever. Because of the way that the peg goes, you would have to have this backwards. That freaking sucks. So, not a fan of that, but going with it. Okay. Gonna put that there. It's in his hand. And then you have, of course, the end pieces to it. So I'll keep it simple with this. Boom. All right. And I don't mind this one being a little bit loose because the area that it can hold the axe in is pretty limited. There's not a lot of room for it to slide, if that makes sense. All right. So boom. I'm going to back this up some, I feel like. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. Pretty straightforward stuff. But again, I remember Fans Project stuff would do that with the mirrored parts, and it'd be so annoying because they had such strong aesthetics, but then you would have, like, on the figure itself, like, screw holes facing out on one side because they use the same parts for, like, opposite legs and this and that. Ugh. So there we go. Two big, huge honking axes. And then, if you want to go ahead and make them dual weld. Okay. And let's see what we got. I believe you do it like this. Boom. I actually haven't tried this yet, so if it's horrible, my bad. In theory, you would think that would slide right in, but apparently not. What do you do there? Do you just flip everything? Sheesh. Okay. And it's crazy because all of this would have been resolved with them just doing full circle pegs. I'm no toy engineer, so to an extent, there's no right to really say anything, but at the same time, I personally would have done this different after seeing how this works. Okay. 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 Boom. 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 And I'm actually going to make it so my camera can lower a bit. Boom. Boom. Okay. All right, I like that. I like that look a lot. That's a cool display look. And that axe is freaking huge for what it's worth. Oh, and for what it's worth, there's no way to do like a dual axe or anything like that, because of how the ends are set up. It'd be nice if they included like a piece with 2 females to go ahead and do that. But yeah, pretty cool. So that's the axe. All right, and now just taking a look at the gun. I'm not going to do anything too crazy with it. I'll save all the posing and stuff like that for the actual article. I feel like we spent a lot of time on the axis, but just so you can see how it looks in his hand. Again, I tightened this just by boiling water, and you can see I actually have to fidget to get inside, and holds just great. And if you guys need a tutorial on stuff like that, by all means, let me know. I don't mind shooting a quick video of that, but it's pretty straightforward. You literally throw it into a pot of boiling water, give it about 30 seconds. You'll take it out really soft, bend it how you want. Already have the water running, the cold water, so that you could hold it, tighten it, and then just place it in the cold water. Do that for about another 30 seconds, and it'll hold in place. And that works for any figure, but like smaller ones like Figuarts and stuff like that, I try to place the part in a plastic bag, or the whole figure, because they're not as thick, and you don't want it to like melt, because Figuarts themselves are really soft plastic. They're painted, like they tend to be prone to like a little bit more of the melting and stuff like that. But there you go. It's pretty cool stuff. I'd have him holstering it on another arm, but that's kind of the same pose as the axe thing, so change it up a little bit. And maybe give you guys another angle here. Give some tilts. Boom. Arm down. Boom. 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 In fact, I wish that he could kind of place it on his side a little bit. That'd be nice, but he cannot. Alright. Do I need to raise the camera? Yeah, probably for this one. Boom, boom, boom. I really wish that the eyes on these lit up. It's not, yeah, they're kind of a clear-ish paint job on the eyes. Personally, I kind of want to paint mine just a regular teal or whatever. It's just, it gives it that dead eye, you know? When there aren't LEDs in the head sculpt, to me there's no point of giving a figure clear eyes at all. Especially when there's no back plate to like let the light through or anything like that. It's just, I wouldn't call it lazy, but I mean, come on, man. So little, but makes such a big impact. Oh, and just so you guys can see how the lights on the gun look, they light up okay. All right. And boom. Now let's get some comparisons in and get you guys out of here. Alright, had a feeling people want to see it, but direct comparison with the Flame Toys Kuro Karakuri Optimus Prime. So makes you really appreciate the amount of fine detailing that Flame Toys puts into their products. I will tell you, from an articulation standpoint, it's nice that this is a lot more simplistic, a lot less fragile, but keeps up in terms of like the articulation and stuff like that. Aesthetically, the one that you like is the one that you like. That's completely subjective. But yeah, if you guys want me to do like a full-on breakdown of stuff like this compared to this, like Banana Force compared to Flame Toys, I'll definitely do that in a separate video, but that's going to be a separate video because y'all are paying me to do that. But yeah, just in terms of aesthetics, there you go. Much larger figure, both die-cast. This is a lot more full of die-cast. It's like a big, heavy, quote-unquote Goken type figure. Just big fun Japanese toy. Where this is more of a luxury figure. So it has die-cast in the joints, but it's largely plastic, things like that. But when it comes to gimmicks, you can see I have like the LED gimmicks on. It has separate buttons for the chest and the head. It's well done piece for sure. And this is a licensed figure by Flame Toys versus third-party unlicensed. And here it is, next to their first figure, MPL-01, Red Sharpshooter, which is their tribute to Car Robots Optimus Prime. And yeah, you can see they're both really big figures. This is about 1/4 inch taller than this guy. This one also comes with parts to make it the base form of Optimus, not like the Supermoto or anything like that. They were supposed to release an Ultra Magnus that combines with it, and you could do, I believe it was Omega Mode for that. That would have been really cool. I don't know where that project is. Hopefully this will help fund that project and it's not something that's scrapped. But aesthetically, I'm not gonna lie, I prefer Red Sharpshooter because that design of Prime is like, a lot of people grew up with G1 and stuff like that. I did not. Car Robots was actually the first Transformers cartoon that I remember, and then I really got into it with like the Unicron trilogy and stuff like that. Like the first real one that I collected toys from and stuff like that was Armada, actually, and I still have all of that stuff. That's why I can't wait to review Fans Hobbies Naval Commander. But yeah, so there it is next to that, and you can see what a difference the painted eyes makes, man. I really don't know why they opted not to do that, but I'm gonna fix it on mine, I believe. But yeah, so, well, I gotta do it after I freaking review it because it needs to be stocked for photography and stuff like that. But yeah, again, MPL-04, Orion Predator, next to MPL-01, Red Sharpshooter. You can actually buy both of these at TF Source. Links will be in the description. Like, share, and subscribe. Let me know what you think of both the figure and this video in the comments section, and check out the full article and gallery on kumasala.com. Hopefully you guys are all having a happy and safe holiday season, and I will see you next review.